Hi, and welcome to The Bright Balloon, a podcast where I'm sharing bright ideas for your balloon business. My name is Sarah Meyer, and I'm a balloon business owner like you, and I love the creative side of what I do, but I really love the business side, which seems to be the part where most people struggle. So I'm here to help. Each week, I'm bringing you an episode full of bite-sized tips you can use to make improvements in your business. I want you to make more money, eliminate stress, and learn along with me as we grow our creative businesses together. Welcome to The Bright Balloon, presented by 17 Hats. Hello and welcome to this episode. Today is going to be a double interview. I recorded these interviews last November at Balloon Boss Summit live in my hotel room. So if the sound is a little bit different, that is why. But first, we're going to hear from Katie and Kristen, who own individual businesses, but both are Canadian based and help each other out. So they have a very interesting business relationship that I think is totally worth sharing because neither of them wants to leave their own business. Neither of them really wants to hire a bunch of employees. So instead they run their businesses independently and then help each other out as needed. So it's a really interesting strategy that I think many of us can tap into, especially if you don't always need help and you can just call in an expert or a friend every once in a while. So first we're going to hear from Katie and Kristen. Then we are going to hear from Yonnie, who is newer to balloons. She's a member of Balloon Boss Mastermind. And like I said, I met her at Balloon Boss Summit. We were both attending. And she is talking about kind of her new adventures in balloons and how she found Balloon Boss Mastermind as an awesome resource to help her grow her business. So we'll have two interviews back to back. I hope you enjoy. And if you would like to join us at Balloon Boss Summit next year, it always takes place in November. Tickets are on sale now, and you can use the link in the show notes wherever you are listening to learn more or to take the plunge and purchase your ticket. It's one of my favorite weeks of the year. The timing is great. It gets me prepped for the following year. And I think buying your ticket early is best because it is an investment. So it's not something that I personally would want to pay all in one big lump sum. But I think if you spread it out over your year, it is a manageable registration fee and it's a full week full of conversation and getting to know people that you maybe look up to, maybe some people you've never heard of. It's all across the board and the focus is on business. So you know that I love it. Without further ado, let's take a break and head over to the U Glue hotline for some great advice that sticks and then get into this double interview episode. Welcome to the U Glue hotline, where we discuss great advice that sticks. Brought to you by Pro Tapes. If you have a question or some great advice to share, click the link in the show notes to call in and leave a voicemail.
Hello, my name is Michelle, and I am the owner of a Papa Shell in Houston, Texas. And my tip is for the U Glue dashes, and it can also work for vinyl as well. If you're setting up and it's not, you feel either one not sticking, I would recommend putting it under something hot. You can leave it out in the sun to bake for a bit so it can get sticky. You could either sit on it or I like to put them under my breast just so it can kind of get warmed up and, make it a little bit stickier. But yes, that's what I do for my U Glue dashers. I either sit on them, hide them in a place where it's really warm so that way they can get sticky. And again, with my vinyl as well, if I'm having problems with getting on the backboard, I like to let it bake in the sun or, again, kind of just wrap it around my body where it's warm. Thank you, and I look forward to more episodes.
Pro Tapes is a leading manufacturer of specialty tape products like Pro Gaff, Pro Artist Tape, and our favorite balloon tape, U Glue, which helps you create amazing balloon arrangements and decorations in less time. You can save 5% on U Glue when you buy directly from Having a Party using code BRIGHT at checkout. All right, welcome to this episode. We have Katie and Kristen here with us. You guys are from Canada.
Yes.
Correct? Give us an introduction. Tell us about yourselves and your businesses.
I'm Katie, and I started Balloon Babes in 2020. Right after our main balloon, we only had one balloon person at the time, they decided to close, and I was like, well, I want to do balloons. So I started up. I thought it was just going to be helium and to my friends. And then, so I set some goals, and within the first 3 weeks, I hit my 3-month goal. And then I really blew up from there. It was absolutely insane. Oh, I'm from Cornwall, Ontario.
So I am from Brockville, Ontario, about an hour away from Katie. At the end of the pandemic, I was trying to find a cool birthday balloon arrangement for my husband's 40th birthday, and nobody in my town was offering these types of balloon arrangements. So through TikTok, I thought I could do this because I'm pretty creative. So that's how I started. And yeah, it's been great. My business name is Fancy Fox Balloons.
Okay. So you guys run independent balloons. You're an hour apart, but you work together a lot. What does that mean? That's what I've been told. So what does that mean?
Okay, so when I was in the business, I was showing my friends some of my pictures, and my former boss had said to me, oh, there's a girl in Cornwall who does something very similar to this. So I was talking to my family, and I said, should I message this girl? And they said, well, you've got nothing to lose. So I sent Katie a message, and I said, hey, I'm new in the balloon business. I was just wondering if you could, share some tips or tricks. And so she messaged me back. She was like, oh my God, come to my house. So I went there, and we've been working together ever since. And although we run as two independent businesses, I spent a year training with Katie, and I was being mentored by her. And so, I help her, she helps me. But we are two independent businesses.
Yeah. Very cool. Can we get into the nuts and bolts of that? I feel like a lot of people are scared to work with other balloon people. Like they think, I don't know, they're going to be a competitor or steal their business. Like, has there ever been any conversations you guys have to like establish some ground rules?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, for sure. So the one thing that had started off with was Kristen asked, like, can I pay you to train me? And I'm like, you know what? I really want a friend. I want someone to hang out with. And money makes things complicated. You help me on my work. I'll teach you as we go along. And then when you're ready, like, we can figure it out at that time. So then Kristen started coming over to the house. And then we decided, like, okay, when this does get to the point where you're ready to spread your wings and fly, let's kind of create our territory. I have 3 kids and she doesn't have kids. And so we decided that I don't want to leave my little area. I have like a 20 kilometer, 30 kilometer max that I would go. And she would go right up to Cornwall. So depending on the job, like if there's someone that asks me in her zones, then I'll just say, hey, yeah, you know what? I helped this Fancy Fox balloon out. Why don't you reach out to her? She'll deliver to your area. And I don't think you get too much Cornwall stuff, eh?
No, so we have our very clear boundaries on where we go, and so same with me. If someone reached out to me for the Cornwall area, I would refer them to her. So because I was trained a lot by Katie, our work is very similar and looks visually
the same.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And we constantly will contact each other and be like, oh God, what was the sizes for this again? And she'll send me the sizes and vice versa. Like we're constantly.
That's cool. So then when you get a big job, one of you gets a larger job and you hire the other person, how does that work? Or is that rare or?
So we just did a gala last week for my local chamber, and Katie came down and helped. And so we sort of just lend each other to each other.
Okay.
And so I will go help her for bigger jobs and she'll come in and help me. So we just figured it out.
Yeah. Okay. So it's not like a straight hourly.
No.
Okay. Interesting. Because I know
she tries to pay me, and I say, no, I'm here to help you. So please don't. And,
oh, that's nice. And I mean, I think if people are listening and they like this model, I think you want to charge. If you come up with an hourly thing, I think that's fine as well.
The way I think I would do it is be like, I have to hire in someone to help me. Her rate is $400, so it would be added into the budget of the thing anyway. So now it's because again, if it's a big enough job where we need each other, there should be some wiggle room to add an extra employee in for the day. So
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. I'm sure there will come a point where there are jobs so big that we do want to charge each other a rate, and so I think we're both in agreement that we'll sort of talk about it as the jobs arise.
Mm-hmm. So then neither of you have other employees, I'm assuming.
No.
Okay.
I had a virtual assistant, a friend, but then she found a full-time job, so I was like, I can't compete.
Sure.
So it was good while it lasted, and then now she's doing her thing. But yeah, even at that, it's so hard, I find, to have an employee. Like, it's just, there's so much, and where do you put them in? And
I agree. So I am kind of in this in between of having a one-woman show and then the people with the real employees, quote unquote, like the real businesses. Yeah. But it is hard when you don't have that full-time work to give someone, or when you're trying to fill their time because you have to, and then you're like, I'm just spending money on stuff I don't really need anyone to do. So it is hard. I luckily have someone who's happy working really, really, really part-time. But I do feel like that is the hardest part in balloons, is to get from doing everything yourself to having enough work to have someone else do it all. But I like how you guys have this set up, because it's hard to train someone. I mean, like, you trained her
100%,
essentially, but
yeah.
it's hard to train someone to do things the way you want and depend on them and also keep them busy enough. So I think a lot of times it does make sense to reach out to another balloon person. I know I'm doing that while I'm here, where we didn't even say that. We're recording this live at Balloon Boss Summit, and I have some jobs that I'm away that it was just easier to hire another balloon person who has the helium and they have the balloons and they have the van. Like, it just is easier sometimes.
And that happened to us as well. So we both do our local colleges. It's the same college, just different campuses. So
Okay.
I have a Brockville campus. She has the Cornwall campus. And so we both had an event to do right before we came here. The event is actually today on this Saturday. So we both inflated and delivered on Thursday evening right before we came here. But so that's an instant where we can't help each other out because we're both here.
Right.
But yeah, and then the way we work together is like we talk all the time on the phone, like 9 to 5, we're working together.
You're like coworkers, yeah.
We're like on Zoom,
So-
blowing up and doing our 17 hats and scheduling and invoicing, and so it's pretty cool.
So with Kristen, the way it worked out with these colleges is we're like, well, we can't leave latex for 2 days. Like to max, it's going to be 2 days, and what if?
Yeah.
That's a lot scarier. So then all of a sudden Kristen's like, well, what about foils? So I was like, yeah, sweet. Now we just do all foils, and they're going to be good for at least a week. Like,
Yeah.
So that was like another like team building, team working off of like a concept, and it really worked out. Like they're all going today.
That's so funny you said that, because I have a group of girls that I talk to like every day. I mean, there's 5 of us, I think. So there's always someone, having a problem or helping. I met them here, and that's kind of the camaraderie too, because a lot of times you don't have coworkers and they don't, your husbands don't care about balloons the way you do, and your kids certainly don't care. It's like you can only talk about those little nitty-gritty problems with balloon people, and it's really nice to have that connection.
Absolutely.
100%.
And I think that's a big thing for me for Mastermind, is being a member of the Mastermind program, is that, if neither of us have an answer, or if she's busy, I can type it in there and I get a really quick response of great ideas. So it's nice to have that also as a sounding board for issues and solutions.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, are you both Mastermind members?
Yes.
Yeah, so
And the cool thing with this too is that we met Mindy here. She's one of the instructors, and then she invited us to Modoc Gardens, that thing she put on. And so we both ended up what is it called? Carpooling?
Road
tripping. Road tripping to Indiana. So it was a 10-hour drive, and she drove the whole time, and I just sat and I'm a passenger princess. And I'm really good at it though.
No, the connections, it's totally true. I have my biggest job ever coming up in April, like 10 times bigger than anything I've ever done. So I'm scared out of my mind. But almost everybody that I am bringing in to help on this little team are connections. They're people I met here, because it's like you meet those people who are really good at rigging, or really good at problem solving, or really good at twisting. Like, you kind of have those connections and bring them all together. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
So even though a lot of us, I think, are kind of independent, it's nice to have that community.
100%.
Totally.
Yeah.
Very cool. Well, what are you guys excited to learn this week?
Oh my gosh, so much. We're just so excited to be here, and we're literally going to soak it all in. I think having been here last year and coming back, so seeing people again and
Totally.
just reconnecting and, networking, and then there's some new teachers that have come in, and I have no expectations. I'm just excited to be here.
Hanging out with Gary Ledbetter. Like, we've had him, so it's Saturday morning, and it's just like the first 4 hours that we've been like kind of on his team. And I'm just like, okay, well, can you show me everything? Like,
I know.
He's just the coolest guy. And yeah, he's lovely. So I'm really excited to be around him. And that's another thing. Like, sometimes I have poles that, they're not super sturdy. Like, the IKEA stands aren't the best in the world. So it's like, how can I make them better?
Yeah. I know. I told my husband, because we did a Disney trip before this, so he just left, and I told him, my plan for this week is to just shut up and listen. I feel like I'm always the one doing the talking, so I'm just I just love listening. I learned so many little tips and tricks from everybody that I'm just excited to see my friends. And
And the golden nuggets. That is such a, you don't understand it till you're hearing, golden nugget. There it is.
Yes.
There's another one.
yeah, there's one thing that someone will say in passing that they don't even mean to make a big deal out of. And you're just no, you don't understand. You just changed my life.
Wait a second.
Yeah.
I know you weren't planning on it, but what you just said just solved a big problem for me.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Very cool. Well, thank you guys so much for checking in. We'll have to do another follow-up in a few months here to see what you learned at Summit and how you're applying it. And it's really nice. Are there any other Canadians here?
Jenny Porter.
Jenny,
Yeah.
the 3 of you?
Yes.
Very
I
cool.
think that's it.
I think we're the only 3.
I think we're the only 3.
Someone's coming from Australia. Did you see that?
And
I've seen
UK.
it.
There's
I've seen
someone
the
here from
UK.
UK.
Met her.
That's crazy.
Yeah,
I haven't
super awesome.
heard the Australian accent yet.
I don't think she's here. Yeah, I don't think she's here yet.
I have not
but
heard her, so I don't think she's here yet.
That's funny. I know. I'm like, oh, I had an hour-long flight. She's gonna have like, she's gonna have Oh my goodness! But we'll have to touch base with her as well.
Yeah.
Well, thank you guys so much. This
Thanks
is
for
great.
having us.
All right.
Are you ready to take your balloon business to the next level? Look no further than Having a Party Wholesale, your ultimate destination for all things balloons. At Having a Party Wholesale, they're not just a distributor, they're your partner in success. With the latest and greatest in balloon innovations, they're on the cutting edge of new products that will wow your clients. From top brands like Tuftex, Jamar, Anagram, Ellie's, Premium Conwin, and more, they've got the widest selection to fuel your creativity. Elevate your balloon business with premium quality balloons and accessories that'll make every event unforgettable. Join the successful league of professional balloon artists who shop at haveinaparty.com.
All right, welcome to this episode. Yonnie, we just met in the lobby. We are live at Balloon Boss Summit in Orlando, Florida.
Ooh, 2023.
Yeah, and I'm excited to meet you and chat about your business. So catch us up. You started balloons in 2018.
Yes. So
Fairly new, but not a total newbie. So tell us about your business.
So it was crazy how I found balloons. I actually wanted to do something for the kids that were in our group, our little circle.
Okay.
And I was like, oh, let me try learning about balloon animals.
So just like friends and family?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, it was like a little Thanksgiving potluck thing, and there was a guy doing magic trick, and to be honest, I was just jealous. I was like, I want to do something for the kids. I want to learn something fun to do with them. So I looked on YouTube, and I was like, oh my gosh, these balloon animals are a lot harder than I thought. But then I got on a bunny trail on YouTube, and I found decor, and then I took a class with Dante Longi, who is in New Jersey.
Yeah, and we should clarify, where are you?
So my name is Yonnie Kolalori. I'm with Sapphire Balloons and Events out of New Jersey.
Okay, so you are in New Jersey. Okay, what was the Dante class? Because I'm dying to take one of his classes.
Oh my gosh,
What was he teaching?
Incredible. So it was 2 days. There were like 10 of us. It was like an 8-hour day and another long day. And it was for a Halloween setup at one of his clients' house.
Okay.
And this thing was huge. We did a purple octopus.
Okay.
I think I have a photo of it on my Instagram. It's like the very first photo in my Instagram. So you have to scroll like way, way down.
Okay.
But the thing was literally the size of the house. And it was insane. There was a lot to learn. And Dante is just a great teacher anyway.
Yeah.
So it was a great class. We had a lot of fun like collaborating and, you know, getting to know each other over those 2 days. It was a lot of fun.
So you were like kind of brand new when you took that class? Did it feel overwhelming?
No,
Okay.
because I had watched so many videos and I had done a lot of practicing at home that when I got there, I was like, oh, okay, I remember seeing something like this, so now let's do it.
Yeah.
So it was a lot of fun.
Very cool. So then, was that in 2018 or 19?
One of those first few years.
Okay.
Yep.
Very cool. And then, what have you been doing since then? Tell us about your business. Is it just you?
Yeah, so I am a home-based business, but it's crazy how I got to know like Joette I saw she was doing a summer tour. So this past summer, I went to one of the stops in New Jersey at Celebration Creations with Stephanie Cofield. She's one of the instructors. So I went to her shop, which was actually only 30 minutes from my house.
Okay.
And I got to know her. So she and I have been doing a lot of work together. I support her. She's been supporting me
that's great.
a lot. And I've just been learning a lot this past year. So I decided to register my business December of last year. So this December coming, it'll be 1 year in business for me. So this is my first summit, 1 year. So it was a big deal for me to make sure that I had my business side of everything set. So going forward, I can be the best for my client.
Yeah. Okay, so let's talk about that. And I'm not trying to put you on the spot, but I think a lot of people just kind of quote unquote start a business without actually like starting one. But you're saying you registered your business. What did that entail in New Jersey? I think it's different in every state, but in general, there's a little bit of paperwork. Like, what does that mean to you to actually start your business?
So I actually went through, there's a company who help you set up your business.
Oh, okay.
I went through them to get me set up, and then I set up a bank account, and I got a business card so I could keep my personal and business things separate. But yeah, there's like 2 or 3 things. To be honest, I'm still making sure I have all my ducks in a row.
No, absolutely.
So
Same.
It's a lot when you're new.
Yeah, I took a class
business.
at a community college, and they walked me through it because it is. You have to like register. Did you register an LLC or what did
Yep.
you? Yep.
LLC.
So you register an LLC. I had to do like different stuff I have to like register with the state, independent of the LLC thing, and then that's when you get your tax identification number. Then that's how you can open your bank account. But that's, I mean,
Yeah, so
it's
I
hard.
followed
I
the
think
same process.
yeah, people kind of skip those steps and they're just like, oh, I started a business. It's like, well, how? Because there's
Yeah.
like a lot involved,
And
you
then
know?
I asked a few other business owners what kind of insurance they had, and then I went with one. I said, let me just try it, and then if I don't like it, I'll switch to a different one.
Yeah.
So I got my business insurance, and I've just been each time I learn something new, I'm like, okay, I got to do that. Like today, I took the CBA exam, and that was one of the questions about insurance, and I was like, oh my gosh, I was like, I need to do that.
I had that question too. It was like, what 5 kinds of insurance do you have? I was like, I don't know. I just have like a policy, and the guy did everything.
Right.
But oh, that's interesting. Okay, let's chat about that too. You just like today took your
Literally,
CBA.
like an hour ago.
You haven't even found out if you've passed yet, but I'm
Nope.
sure you did.
Tomorrow we find out. I think.
How did that go? Because I know some people listening want to take that. They're intimidated. There's not that many opportunities to take it.
Right.
So Summit is one of those places where you can get your certified balloon artist, like badge or whatever, seal of approval.
Yep, certification.
And what was that process like?
Oh my gosh. So the first thing I did was go to the Qualitex website and sign up for the kit. That's like first things first. You get a kit, and then they send you all the information of next steps.
Is it still CDs or is it digital now?
No, so they sent me an email with a welcome and links to YouTube. So it's like a private YouTube thing.
Oh, okay.
So when you go on, you can watch the videos, and then you sign up so you can go into your portal, and then there's 3 written exams. And then after you've done the written exams, you can go ahead and send photos of classic decor, and they give you all the outlines. But then you also have to do job cost form and email that in. And then after the job cost form, then you're prepared. Once you turned everything in, you're prepared to go ahead and start studying for the hands-on portion of the exam. So that's where you have to you have to be a registered attendee to an event like Balloon Boss Summit.
Yeah.
And then you can go ahead and take your exam.
Yeah, I took mine at Float. That's another one where they typically have the certification offered at the event. So I took mine at Float a few years ago.
Hi, my name is Jeff from Balloon Suite, and I have a really quick question for you. Would you like to work with people who know what works to grow sales and reach people who are interested in your decor online? I bet you would. And I bet you would be interested in working these people to help reach your particular sales goals or help to overcome the business challenge you're facing right now as an owner. At Balloon Suite, my entire team knows the balloon decor business. We have hundreds of clients in balloon decor. We've seen it, we've done it, and we can help you get through those sales and marketing and business challenges that you're facing so that you can reach your goals. You can learn more about our packages at balloonsuite.com.
Was it scary?
For me, I want to be completely honest. I was so cool, calm, and collected.
Oh, good.
Because I do a lot of visualization. So I believe even when I do like a job for a client, they tell me what they want. After we have it all written out and all the processes are done, invoice, all that, I see what they want and I visualize myself doing it like a lot of times.
Yeah.
So because they tell you what's on what the hands-on part is, I visualized myself doing it, and I went in. I was like, okay,
With
I'm
the
ready.
steps pre-planned.
Yeah,
I love that.
I was ready.
So I do that too. I think when people hear visualization, they think down like the manifesting path. And for me, it's like being an athlete, right? It's like I know what I'm gonna do. And I think of jobs before I get there, and that's half the time when I remember that I'm like forgetting something. Like, okay, I'm gonna put the base down and then the other base, and then I'm gonna put the poles in, then I'm gonna put my conduit together and slip it over, and that's when I'm like, oh my gosh, I don't have my bases. I need to put those in my van. Like that's,
Right.
I walk through all the steps so that I know that I have all the pieces in place. But that is interesting that you did it for the CBA.
Well, for me, the reason I do it is because it's like, oh, I've done this like 6 times in this space already. But even though it's in my head, I go in feeling like I've done this a million times.
Yeah.
This is just another time I'm doing it, even though it's the first time.
That's awesome.
So during the exam, there was a few things we had to do. Was like a duplicate something, a twisted flower. We had to create a centerpiece and then a delivery bouquet. And then we had to create a 5-pack spiral garland.
That's usually,
and that
I
was
think
pretty
that's
much
kind
it.
of I think that's the one that people trip up on, the 5-pack garland online. Because a lot of people just stack their garlands on like
on a
poles
pole.
or something.
Yeah.
So that's tricky. And then at mine, did you have to do like the gumball balloon. Well, you just did a bunch of those. We just did a centerpiece together, but I did my first one in my exam room. Like, I had never done one.
Right, me too. So, well, the gumball, though, this year, it wasn't helium.
Okay.
So it was air-filled. So I felt a lot better about doing it because it was a little bit different, but it was practically, I had done that before, like double stuffed balloons.
Yeah. For people listening, a gumball, it's like usually a clear, either a bubble or a latex balloon, and then you have to kind of like blow it up and then blow the little balloons up inside. And it's not hard. It's just like finicky, right? You have to kind of like
it's a lot
tinker.
Of technical and trying to get your sizes the same. So it's really, a tip is to use a hand pump when you're doing the little 5-inch and counting how many pumps you do. So just to make sure everything is like nice and
consistent, yeah,
unified.
Yeah. Oh, I love that.
Yeah.
Well, I'm sure you've passed, and we will find out.
Fingers crossed.
When do they announce it? Is it on Wednesday night?
I'm not even exactly sure.
Huh.
I'm just happy it's done.
And how many of you were in there?
Oh, there were 20 of us this year.
Oh my gosh, that's like a quarter of the people here.
It was a lot of people.
Yeah, so one of the best things that I love about Summit, and this is your first one, but I think you've probably already experienced in your first day, is like the size. It's really small. So if you want to talk to someone, you totally can.
Mm-hmm.
If you want to go to lunch with someone, there's time to do that. Like anything you want to learn, you'll have time to do, which I think is very cool. So classes haven't even started yet. We're recording on, what day is it? I don't know. I just came from Disney World. I have no clue.
It is Saturday.
It's Saturday.
November
classes.
4th.
Yeah, classes start tomorrow.
Tomorrow, yeah.
And today's all the pre-building stuff, which like I've already learned little tips from like, oh, well, okay. I have gotten my experience worth. I saw someone inflating with a compressor and blowing up like large balloons super fast. I was like, I don't even know what I'm looking at. So I'm sure that I will learn a bunch more as we're here.
I'm really excited to learn all the things, but what I'm most excited for is getting my CRM set up. So when I get home, boom, boom, we're all automated.
Do you have
and ready
17
to go.
hats?
I do. I just got it
this
like
is
last week or 2 weeks ago.
You're making this interview like a commercial. I love it. Yeah, so I am here helping people with 17 hats. And so is Nicole, who runs Let Nicole Help. She's like a 17 hats startup business. But like this week, we will be in the lobby doing kind of hands-on, because it's hard, right? Like 17 hats is great,
It's true.
but there's a learning curve. Like, and I think especially seeing people use it in your niche for things that you're also going to use it for is really helpful. So I'm excited.
I am I'm a really administrative type person, and I like to do a lot of things by myself, but 17 hats was just like, okay, I'm going to definitely need help on this one. Like, I got some stuff set up, but just to be able to be in a room with other people who are way more experienced in certain things is the best thing about Summit and this type of, I don't want to say convention, but this type of space and environment. We can just ask, and everybody's so nice and is willing to help. And I love the camaraderie where we can just help each other here.
Hey listeners, before we wrap up today's episode, let's talk about our fantastic sponsor, the Balloon Guild. Do you ever see amazing balloon decor online and wonder, how did they make that? The Balloon Guild is revolutionizing the industry by standardizing recipes, SOPs, and offering unparalleled training. Their mission? To elevate balloon artists worldwide, ensuring efficiency, profitability, and unparalleled professionalism. For business owners and their teams, the Balloon Guild isn't just a resource, it's a game changer for growth and development. For me, it's been the ultimate shortcut in finally getting things out of my head and onto paper, so I'm not making things up on the fly, and so my team can work together to create consistent, fast decor. Visit their platform today at theballoonguild.com or by using the link in the show notes. New recipes and resources are released every month.
It's so fun.
Yeah, my like group of best friends, honestly, we connected. Basically, we were all at Summit at different times, sometimes overlapping, sometimes together. You know, I don't know if we've ever all been here at once, but we all use 17 hats. Mm-hmm. So we started a chat group just about 17 hats, and then it turned into like, we talk every day about everything. But it's nice to have those people where you can be like talking 17 hats language and be like, hey, what's the workaround when you want to, you know, duplicate an invoice and send a reminder? And it's like, it's just this niche language that it's really nice to have other people who use it.
I
Who
can't
else?
wait.
Yeah, who else are you excited for? Any teachers or things you're really excited to learn?
Well, the fun thing is, I'm from New Jersey. We're currently in Florida, and I drove down with Stephanie Cofield.
Oh, okay.
So we drove down together.
Yeah,
and
Stephanie
we
drives everywhere, doesn't she? I feel like she always drives.
We actually stopped in Virginia on the way down to pick up Stacy Moore. She owns Moore's Balloon Decor in Virginia. So we stopped by and picked her up. So we just had a little girls.
Oh, that's awesome.
So I'm really excited to learn, from somebody who lives so close to me. And I'm really happy to be here just to support her and to also be here for myself to learn.
Yeah, that's exciting. I'm excited for Diana Gladden, who is doing like sales, just like straight sales.
Yes.
I feel like I always
questions. I already sent her. She was like, send us questions, and I already sent my questions because I was like, I need to learn this for sure.
Me too. I was like, I need to speed up the process. Like, I need to get from like, yes, I'm available to like, here's your invoice a lot faster than I currently am. So I'm very excited to hear what she says. And she's in Tennessee and does some huge jobs. So she clearly knows, but I can't wait. And the hands-on stuff is so fun as well. So,
I'm so excited.
I am so glad to meet you. And we'll have to do a catch-up interview or something to see the things you took away from Summit after having been here and how you've applied it.
And after I get my CRM set up.
Yeah.
It's going to be good. I feel like right after I leave here, because that's my goal, and I come, like, the good thing is you can come here with goals and know that by the end of the week, those goals will be met.
Absolutely.
Because you have the time, and that's the whole purpose of the thing.
For sure.
So I know, like, in a few weeks after we leave here, I'm already going to be way farther than I am right now.
Yeah. Absolutely. Well, it was such a nice opportunity to meet you, even though we just met, and we have the rest of the week to hang out. So
thank you for having me.
Oh, you're welcome. Thanks for giving us this little chat.
Thanks for listening. As usual, I tried to keep it bright and light. Our presenting sponsor is 17 Hats, the CRM I use to cut the chaos and manage my entire balloon business. From the lead capture form on my website to workflows and email templates, invoicing and grab-and-go garland automated bookings, it's all powered by 17 Hats, the best customer relationship management system for balloon businesses. There's even a 50% off coupon code waiting for you in the show notes wherever you're listening. I'll see you next week in another episode.